Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Shireen Bhan. The headlines that we're tracking for you this evening. The Sensex and the Nifty end in the green after a range-bound session. The October F&O series draws to a close with 6% gains for both indices as bulls regain lost ground. Credit Suisse shares nosedive after the embattled Swiss lender posts a $4 billion loss in the third quarter, also announces an overhaul, promises to cut its cost base by 15%. Facebook's parent company Meta loses $67 billion in market cap after missing estimates in the third quarter. Mark Zuckerberg defends the metaverse project, which led to a 20% rise in costs. Elon Musk enters the Twitter headquarters carrying a sink as the $44 billion acquisition nears closure. Musk needs to seal the deal by tomorrow to avoid facing a trial. The government could announce PLI schemes for 8 more sectors. Sources say the centre is considering allocating up to 40,000 crore rupees. A new scheme to boost the manufacturing of raw materials for drugs and vaccines is on the table. That's an exclusive. 13 months since the cabinet approval, the government is yet to decide on converting Vodafone Idea's dues to equity. All approvals are in place, and sources say a final decision from the Department of Telecommunications is awaited. India's women cricketers will be paid the same match fee as their male counterparts as the BCCI. Women will now get 15 lakh rupees for every test match compared to 4 lakh rupees earlier, but no changes to the annual retainers, where men get paid significantly more than women. Well, let's start with the day's market action. The Wall Street recording its biggest gain in the last 3 series while closing a volatile trading day with minor gains. So we saw the Sensex gain over 200 points today. The Nifty was higher by 80 points. Bank and mid-cap indexes also ended the day in the green. The October F&O series is drawn to a close. The Sensex and the Nifty have gained 6% each as bulls regain some lost ground. The Nifty is now 2% away from record highs. But the big global story, embattled Swiss lender Credit Suisse has reported a worse-than-expected quarterly loss of $4 billion. Consolidated revenue came in at $3.8 billion. That's a decline of 30% compared to the same period last year. Under pressure from investors, the lender unveiled a major overhaul of its business, including cost cuts, reducing risk and revival of investment bank First Boston. The bank's new CEO hopes the plan is the start of a transformation into Credit Suisse. Juliana Teitelbaum has the details.
Credit Suisse has unveiled a radical strategic overhaul, as well as a 4 billion Swiss franc capital increase following sharp losses in the third quarter. The Swiss lender is launching a rights issue at a discount of, get this, approximately 32% and is bringing in a new shareholder, Saudi National Bank, which has committed up to 1.5 billion Swiss francs. This after CS posted a net loss of just over 4 billion Swiss francs in Q3. The troubled lender will break its investment bank up into 4 parts with the creation of CS First Boston, focusing on advisory and capital markets. The firm will sell a majority stake in its securitized products group business to Apollo Management and PIMCO.
Well, troubled Credit Suisse there, but more global earnings. Tech giant Meta reported lower than expected numbers this quarter, missing street estimates on almost all fronts. So the company's revenue came in at just under $28 billion. That's slightly below street expectations and down 4% year on year. This is the second straight time that Meta reported a dip in its revenues, and the company's forecast for the next quarter shows another drop. This did not sit well with Wall Street. The company's shares plunged nearly 20% in trade yesterday, wiping out almost $67 billion of the company's market cap. Samsung Electronics reported a 31% decline in profit in Q3 on the back of a big slump in demand for smartphones and semiconductors. The company's chip business, which is responsible for a majority of its revenue, has seen a 50% drop in profit. Samsung, however, said that they would not reduce chip production. The company says they expect demand to recover in late 2023. Elon Musk treated Twitter users with visuals of himself entering the Twitter headquarters in San Francisco holding a sink. He also changed his bio profile to Chief Twit, indicating he is the new boss. This happened a day ahead of a court-ordered deadline to close his $44 billion deal for the microblogging site by the 28th of October. Remember, Musk recently asked his co-investors to prepare for financing the takeover. Twitter's shares will be suspended from trade on Friday. Well, back home, it has been 13 months since the cabinet approval came in for the conversion of Vodafone's debt into equity by the government. But So far, the wait continues. Ashmit joins us now with more. Ashmit, all necessary approvals, whether it is SEBI or the Finance Ministry, the approvals are in. What is the holdup?
Well, that's a question that we have been, in fact, asking the government officials for a fair bit now. But as you pointed out, it's been 13 months since the cabinet granted the nod, but the clock is still not moved forward here. Keep in mind that in September of 2021 is when the cabinet, amongst a whole host of telecom relief measures, had also allowed for these telecom government dues to be converted into government equity. Since then, in January, Vodafone had applied, but the wait continues. What's important at this stage to understand is that all necessary approvals have been secured. So whether it's SEBI, looking in compliance with the takeover regulations, SEBI has granted its nod. The Finance Ministry has given its approval. So the file, as we understand, the application as we understand, is currently resting before the DOT, pending consideration. DOT is finalizing a call. Having said that, there are a few aspects to keep in mind. Number one, outstanding dues of Vodafone are piling up. Whether that's tower companies, whether that's vendors, that is a big sore point as far as Vodafone Idea is concerned. Also keep in mind that Vodafone Idea had sought to issue the shares at a par price of 10 rupees per share. However, it's been trading below that price since the month of April. So that has also been another point of concern. And of course, let's not forget, in terms of investors and in terms of money being brought in by the promoters, that's another core concern that perhaps has been doing the rounds. But so far, no clarity coming in from the government on what a roadmap will look like for converting these dues. It's been 13 months since then. No clarity on the way forward.
Yes, that question mark continues. Ashmit, many thanks for joining us. We will head into a short break, but up next, it's a big step forward for women's cricket in India. The BCCI says women cricketers will get the same match fee as their male counterparts for international matches. Harmanpreet Kaur, India cricket team captain, and the former captain of India, Diana Edulji, join us after the break.